It means a lot. It means a ton. You know, when you think about, you could have offered me this job 3 years ago for, no pay, and I probably would have taken it. My wife might have said that was a bad idea. But this is, and I say that because this was my first AD job. And so the last 3 years to be able to really, I would say, take advantage of that opportunity and parlay it into where a board, a president, and hopefully a fan base feel like the right person is in charge here. So I can't put into words how much it means, because I think everybody behind the mic here has a boss, and I'm sure you've all had bosses that you didn't know if you felt supported by. And it's completely different when you know that you have that support from the person that you report to. It means a lot.
Now that you have kind of a long-term situation here at the university, what are some of the goals that you hope to have with the athletic department and just where you see it growing?
Yeah, for me, once again, it goes back to how do we navigate all the changes that are coming. And so I'm not going to outline specific goals, but we're going to try to be really, really competitive in all of our sports. And there's gonna be a lot of things that play into that. And so how can we continue to compete in football, men's basketball, and volleyball, and baseball, and all of our Olympic sports? And we're gonna have to navigate that, and it's gonna be challenging. You know, as I say all the time, we got hit with a $20 million expense when most athletic departments aren't operating in the black. And so how do we manage that? How do we work together to ensure that we're competing at the level that we expect and our fans expect?
There's been, bringing in Pat, there's been a ton of excitement with the men's basketball program. What's it been like for you to see those big crowds coming back to the Yum Center and, adding sort of like the home field advantage again?
It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. And, how do we continue to build on that? It's, I joke, but when you're in these jobs, a really good moment happens, and it's like Pat says, on to the next thing. And Pat and I've had these conversations. Jeff and I think I've had it with all of our coaches. I've had it with the president. How do we take the time to enjoy the really good moments? Because the ones that aren't so good, they're tough. You feel them. They're emotional. And so how do we take the time and say, hey, let's enjoy the good ones? Because there's been a lot of good ones. So that's what we're going to continue to try to do.
How many, you probably can't say completely, but how many really tough calls are ahead for not just you, every athletic department in the future as you look at how this stuff is going to unfold?
I think that's the interesting piece about all of this is I think the decisions are going to be different for everybody. And so as you're out there, like she said, having those conversations with colleagues around the country, what their mix of revenue and expenses is going to be different than ours. And how do we put that together to optimize what we're trying to achieve here at the University of Louisville? And so once again, that's what we're going to try to do. And it's an ebb and flow. It changes. It's like, hey, we think we want to go down this road, and then we might have to pivot a little bit. And I say it all the time. The easiest way to stop being wrong is to change your mind. And so there's probably going to be a few times where we have to change our mind. And so that's what we're going to try to do, I think. But what you have to do is say, this is what we've been dealt, and how do we manage it? As opposed to, I don't like it, or I don't think this is what we should be doing. This is where we are. So how are we going to manage it? And that's what we're going to try to do.